So Dr. Ogren, this is one of my favorite parts about the museum, and because it's a function of the old and new, and the sturgeon fish can live for so long, and a lot of people don't know this, but they live in our river right here.
They do,
our Grand
absolutely.
River. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about this exhibit, and then maybe talk a little bit about what the next phase of this is going to look like as you take this immersive experience into the river and what it means for the sturgeon?
Sure. So that is really one of the reasons we wanted to create this exhibit, because so many people in the region didn't know and still don't know that Lake Sturgeon actually come up the Grand River. They come up many of our rivers, the Kalamazoo River, the Muskegon River, the Manistee River, and lay their eggs. And then those baby fish go out to Lake Michigan. And we have this prehistoric fish that lives in our space and or lives with us. And out in Lake Michigan, people don't know where they go, they don't know what happens to them, and they really don't know that much about them in our river systems either. So we wanted to talk a little bit about Lake Sturgeon, their life history, why they're a threatened species today, so what's changed in our habitat, in our river systems, and then what groups are doing to really help recover and improve that species. And so this really was our effort to do some public education, to share with the community science and current science that's happening. So there's quite a bit of research into Lake Sturgeon in the Grand River happening today. So we have a team that goes out every fall and looks for juvenile fish. We partner with other community organizations, with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Michigan DNR, and the Gun Lake Tribe also is doing work on Lake Sturgeon. And so there's a lot of groups that are doing research to try to help this species and understand more about it.
So you got this aquarium here. This thing is maybe 12 inches long or something. How old is a 12-inch sturgeon?
These fish are through a partnership with the Little Traverse Bay Bands and the Michigan DNR. We get them when they are about 3 months old, and currently these guys or ladies are about 6 or 7 months old.
Wow.
And we'll keep them for a year, and then we bring them back to their place of origin. So these happen to be from Black Lake, and so they go back to that Black Lake system, and then we get 2 more small fish that people can come and see.
Wow. It's also my understanding that we're seeing a resurgence, and that as we have better fish management, that we're continuously increasing numbers of them?
Yeah, so there's a lot of work being done to sort of jumpstart different populations, have sturgeon starters, being done through Michigan State University, Grand Valley State University, to really start to protect these species when they're really small and highly vulnerable, and then make sure that we have better survival as they get older.
I know you're doing some really creative things actually in the river to create some areas that are going to be like safe haven places for them to nest or to rest, or talk a little bit about that.
So for us, the museum won't be doing work in the river. We're doing work on the banks, and so we'll be able to do lots of education about that, but those banks are going to be improved in that they won't be just riprap, they won't be seawalls, they're going to be terraced areas with native species that provide, or native plant species that provide cover. So it's a much better riparian or bank for species in general. And then there's a lot of other projects happening up and down the river corridor that are looking at improving habitat, changing some of the hydrology with our low head dams, and really evaluating what's the best next step for the river.
So how big are the biggest ones outside here in the river? If you had to guess right now, are they big ones?
Absolutely. So we get pictures sent to us all the time of people who happen to catch them. You can't catch them. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to put them right back if you do. But people do catch them, and they're 5-6 feet long. And we actually have a historic photo from our archives that shows a picture of a fish that was caught at Bridge Street. Historically, like I think it was in the 1900s, that was 7 feet long.
Wow.
7 feet 4 inches. And so it's a really large fish, and they are still here, and we're really excited to start to understand more about those populations.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.